Hello, my dear students. Welcome again to the syllabus of Fundamentals of Mobile Computing lecture notes. This is a lecture on the global system for mobile communications, that is the GSM system. And let's have an overview of the GSM system. GSM is a very popular standard for mobile phones around the world. In the year 1982, around GSM came into existence. The European Conference of Postal and Telecommunication Administration (CEPT) created Group Spatial Mobile, that was the GSM, to develop a standard for mobile telephony system that could be used across Europe. In 1989, GSM was enhanced and its responsibility was transferred to European Telecommunication Standard Institute, that was ETSI, and phase 1 of GSM was released in 1990. The first GSM network was launched in 1991 by Radiolansia in Finland with joint technical infrastructure maintenance from Ericsson. The proposed GSM system had certain objectives that were support for international roaming, good speech quality, ability to support handheld terminals, low terminal and service cost, and spectral efficiency. So these were the main objectives of the GSM which was launched. Then GSM used a combination of FDMA and TDMA. The FDMA and TDMA will come across in the next lectures. These are the frequency division multiple access and time division multiple access protocols which are used for the flow of network from one place to another. The GSM system has an allocation of 50 megahertz bandwidth in the 900 megahertz frequency band. So this is a good proportion, that is why it gives a very good speed and connectivity issues are resolved. Using FMA, this band is divided into 124 channels, each with a carrier bandwidth of 200 kilohertz. Using TDMA, each of these channels is further divided into 8 time slots. Therefore, with the combination of FDMA and TDMA, we can realize a maximum of 992 channels for transmit and receive. So this is a big number. That is why the communication in GSMs is flawless and we don't face any type of network hurdles. Cell. What is a cell? This I have explained you in the previous class as well. Cell is the basic service area. One BTS covers one cell. You remember the shape of the cell, that was hexagonal. Each cell is given a cell global identity, that is the CGI. So a bigger cell is partitioned into smaller cells, nanocells. So each of those nanocells has a cell global identity, that is the CGI, a number that uniquely identifies the cell. Then we have the location area, a group of cells from location area. This is the area that is paged with when a subscriber gets an incoming call. Each location area is assigned a location area identity, that is LAI. Each location area is served by one or more BSCs. Next we come to the architecture of the GSM. As you can see in the diagram, we have mobile systems and interface and they are connected through TARs to BTS. BTS are connected through BSCs and BSCs are connected to MSCs, which are basically connected through the VLR. VLR and HLR we have already come across in the previous lecture, and we have basically MSCs controlled by the PSTN. Let's come to the detail of the GSM architecture. These are the abbreviations which you can see in the GSM architecture. MSC is a mobile switching center. BSC, I hope by now you must have learned some of the abbreviations as I am showing abbreviations in each and every lecture. BSC is a base station controller. BTS is a base transceiver station. TRX is a transceiver. MS is mobile station, OMC is operation and maintenance center, PSTN is public switched telephone network, BSS is base station subsystem, HLR is home location register, VLR is visitor location register, AUC is authentication register, EIR is equipment identity register. Now let's see how the GSM architecture is proceeding. or how well we explain the GSM architecture in the next slides. The GSM network can be divided into four groups basically. Mobile station, that is the first one, MS. And MS is used by mobile subscriber to communicate with the mobile network. Several types of MS exists, each allowing the subscriber to make and receive the calls. The manufacturers of the MS offer a variety of design and features to meet the need of the market, which are the MS consists of mobile equipment, that is the ME, and subscriber identity module, that is the SIM. These ME and SIM we can call it as a handset, basically what we have in our hand. So this is what we have, a mobile equipment and a SIM. This is how the mobile station works with the help of these two things. This is the mobile terminal, how it is working. The TE is the terminal, is connected through the MS. MS is having the SIM and the mobile equipment, and these are connected to the base station subsystems that are the BSS, and which are connected to the GSM core network. So using this terminology, or using this arrangement, the mobile system has a network, what we call. And when we see that when there is a weak network, means we are not able to connect to the GSM core network, so we switch our location so that we come into the area of that GSM core network. So this is the what we call the arrangement of the mobile station. The mobile equipment, what it is a basically cellular phone without a SIM card. The mobile equipment has a unique international mobile equipment identity, that is IMEI number, which is used by the EIR. You might have seen that sometimes the phone has been stolen, and after that time the police traces as soon as a SIM is inserted inside the phone. So this is a new feature of the new mobile phones, that the IMEI number is registered with the EIR, and as soon as somebody inserts a SIM in the phone, the IMEI number is updated. So by that reason, the police is able to track the mobile phone location, the mobile equipment location basically. The numbers of GSM terminal types are defined with the GSM specification. They are distinguished primarily by the power output rating. The range or coverage area of an MS is dependent on the output power capabilities, and consequently different ranges. We can have an example that a handheld mobile system, mobile equipment have a lower output power and shorter range than a car installed MS with a roof mounted antenna. So we are having this because as we move, we are already always connected to the base station. Then we have the SIM, that is the SIM we basically call. This is subscriber identity module. It is used in phones and smart processor cards. It possesses a processor and a it possesses a processor and a small memory. The SIM stores permanent and temporary data about the mobile, the subscriber, and the network. It contains a serial number, a PIN, a PUK, that is the PIN unblocking key, an authentication key, that is the key I, and the IMSI, that is International Mobile Subscriber Identity. So the SIM can be plugged into any GSM mobile terminal. This brings the advantage of security and portability for subscriber. Suppose a subscriber A's mobile terminal may have been stolen. However, A's own SIM can be used in another person's mobile terminal, and the calls will be charged to subscriber A. So we take out our SIM and then we put it in another mobile phone or mobile equipment. What are the functions of the MS? The functions of MS is to transmit signals from MS to BTS using the uplink, and reception of signal from BTS to MS using the downlink. You can see it through the diagram which is here. The BSS or base station subsystem contains two parts, that are the BTS and the BSC. What is BTS? BTS is a base transceiver station. It comprises all radio equipments, example antenna, signal processing, and amplifier required for transmission. It is placed in the center of a cell, means the arrangement, the hexagonal shape of the cell, if you remember, in the center is the BTS. or the base transceiver station. You can also call it as a tower. Its transmitting power defines the size of a cell. It connects to the MS via UM interface and connects to BSC via ABIS interface. It manages the radio sources for BTS. It handles and handovers the radio frequency, radio channel setup from BTS to other. So it is responsible basically for transmission of the radio signals. What is base station controller or BSC? It connects the BTS and MSC of NSS. It manages radio resources for one or more BTSs. It handles and handovers the radio frequency, radio channel setup from one BTS to another. Basically, by this the network signaling has been um, enforced. Then we have the NSS or network switching subsystem. The NSS combines the call rotation switches, that are the MSC and GMSC, with a database registered required to keep track of subscribers' movement and use of the system. The key elements of NSS are the MSC, the VLR, and the HLR. The mobile switching center, what it has? The mobile switching center, MSC, is an exchange which performs all switching and signaling functions for mobile stations located in a geographical area designated as the MSC area. These are high performance digital ISDN switches. It is used for connection between mobile phones to mobile phones within same network. It can be used for connection between mobile phone to fixed phone within a network. It manages BSC within a geographical area. Then we have the GMSC, that is the gateway MSC. It is a connection for another MSC and it handles all signaling needed for the connection setup and connection release. Then we have the HLR or home location register. The HLR, what is the function? It is a centralized network database which stores and manages all mobile services belonging to a specific operator. It acts as a permanent store for a person's subscription information until that subscription is cancelled. It provides call routine and roaming facility by combining with MSC and VLR. It also considered as a database which stores the information about the subscriber within covering area of MSC. Information includes current location of the mobile and all the service providing information. When a phone is powered off, this information is stored in the HLR. It is also a database, but it contains a temporary copy of some of important information stored in the HLR. If a new MS user comes into location area, then VLR will provide relevant information by bringing it from the HLR. What is VLR? It is a visitor location register. It is the visitor location register, which is a temporary storage device of GSM network. It stores subscribers' subscription information for MS which are within the particular MSC area. Then there is one VLR for each MSC service area. Then we come to the OSS or Operation and Support System. The OSS contains necessary functions for network operation and maintenance. The key elements are OMC, EIR, and AUC. The OMC, EIR, and EUC are: OMC or the Operation Maintenance Center is a connection that it is a terminology which connects to different components of NSS and to the BSC. It controls the traffic load of the BSS. EIR or Equipment Identity Register. It is a database that contains a list of all valid mobile equipments within the network where each MS is identified by the IMEI or International Mobile Equipment Identity. The EIR contains a list of IMEI of all valid terminals, and IMEI is marked invalid or if it is stolen. EIR allows the MSC to forbid calls from this stolen terminal. The equipment identification procedure uses the identity of the equipment itself, IMEI, to ensure that the MS terminal equipment is valid. The AUC. or authentication center is defined to protect user identity and transmission. It is protected database and stores a copy of secret information stored in the SIM card. This data is to help the identity of the user. That is how I told you, when the phone is stolen, and then we have a SIM card inserted in the stolen phone, then the IMEI number is transferred to the base station. Then we come to the network signaling. You can see that there is a mobile station which is connected. Sorry, you can see the network signaling. We can see a mobile station which is connected to the BTS, which is the setup of RR, BTS, laptop, LAPDMs, and MTP. I will explain these terms in the next slide. Which is connected to the BSC, which is connected to the MSC. So these are is responsible for establishing a connection through the MS. These are the abbreviations for the same. LAPD is the link access procedure D-channel management. RR is the radio resource. MM is mobility management. CM is call management. BTSM is BTS management. BTSS MAP is the BSS application protocol. SCCP is the signaling connection control part. The how is the connection established or how it works? It is the MS and BTS. The signaling protocol in GSM is structured into three layers. Layer 1 is the physical layer, layer 2 is the data link layer, and layer 3 is the network layer. We come across the physical layer, how it works. The MS and BTS. It is the physical layer is between the MS and BTS, and it is called the UM interface. It performs these functions: full or half duplex access, provides TDMA, FDMA, and CDMA, framing of data as well. The data link layer controls the flow of packets to and from network layer and provides access to various services like connection. It provides connection between two terminals. Teleservices. These are the services offered by a mobile network to users like MMS, SMS, etc. We come across the usage of these things when we use the MS. The data link layer presents between the MS and BTS. This is the second layer. Is LAPDM or Link Access Protocol Management. This is the abbreviation of the data link layer. LAPDM protocol describes the standard procedure in GSM for accessing D channel link. The functions are data flow control, acknowledge or de-acknowledge data transmission, address and sequence number check, segmentation. You might have seen that when we send SMS, then we get the message that the SMS has been received by someone. So this is also the function of the data link layer. Then the network layer has three sublayers. The call management, it supports call establishment, maintenance, termination. It supports SMS. It supports DTMF, that is the dual tone multiple frequency signaling. Then the second sublayer is the MM or the mobility management. What it does, it controls the issues regarding mobility management, location updating and registration. Then there is RRM, that is the radio resource management. It manages radio resources such as frequency assignment, signal measurement. So these are all responsible for mobile network. The BTS and BSC signaling protocols. This is the physical layer between the BTS and the BSC, and it is called the ABIS interface, where the voice is coded by using the 64 kbps PCM. The connection between the BTS and BSC is through a wired network. This cannot be wireless, though research is going on for this. The data link layer is LAPDM. The network layer protocol is called the BTS management, which interacts with the BSSAP. So this is how it functions. And then we come to the BSC and the MSC signaling protocol. The physical layer between BSC and MSC is called the U interface. The data link layer protocol between BSC and MSC is the MTP or the message transfer protocol. and SCCP, or the Signaling Connection Control Protocol. The MTP and SCCP are part of the SS7, that is the signaling system number 7, used by interface A. The network layer protocol at the MSC are the CM, MM, and BSSAP, that are the base station substation system application part. So I hope you have very well understood the lecture on the GSM. So this was a complete gist of the GSM, its architecture, its mobility management, its network signaling. So by the use of this lecture, I hope you will be benefited by the complete knowledge of the GSM, that is the demand of this module. And we'll come across the next of the modules with more lectures. Thank you for listening patiently. Do keep watching the channel for more videos. Thank you very, very much.